You're lying on a table. The room smells like disinfectant and cold metal. Someone is pulling a sheet over your face. You can't feel it. 60 seconds ago, your heart was beating. Your lungs were filling. Your brain was processing the fluorescent light above you, the murmur of voices, the faint beep of a machine. Now all of that is gone. Your heart has stopped. This is minute zero. And from this point forward, your body is going to go through a transformation so complete, so deliberate, so precisely choreographed by biology, that by the time it's finished, there will be nothing left of the person you were. This is every stage of death, according to science. Minute by minute. The moment your heart stops pumping, your blood loses pressure. It doesn't drain. It just stops moving. Your circulatory system, the network of vessels that carried oxygen to 60 trillion cells, goes silent. Within seconds, your cells notice. They're not getting oxygen. They're not getting glucose. And without fuel, they start to suffocate. Your brain is the first to panic. Neurons that were firing billions of signals per second begin to falter. The prefrontal cortex, the part that makes you you, starts shutting down. Your thoughts dissolve. Not slowly, not gently. They just stop mid-sentence like a song cut off before the chorus. This is clinical death. Your heart is not beating, your brain is going dark, but you are not gone yet. Because here's the thing doctors discovered that changed everything. Clinical death is not the end. It's a window. Dr. Sam Parnia, director of resuscitation research at NYU Langone, has studied thousands of cardiac arrest survivors. And what he found is extraordinary. In the minutes after the heart stops, consciousness doesn't vanish instantly. Some patients reported hearing conversations, seeing the room from above. One man described the exact actions of a nurse who entered the room 3 minutes after he was declared dead. Your cells are dying, but your brain, some of it at least, is still listening. This window lasts about 4 to 6 minutes. That's how long your brain cells can survive without oxygen before the damage becomes permanent. This is the grace period. The space between death and death. If someone performs CPR during this window, if a defibrillator fires at just the right moment, you can come back. People do. Every day, in emergency rooms around the world, people cross this line and return. But if no one intervenes, if the window closes, then something irreversible happens. Your brain cells begin to die. Not all at once. The process is staggered, region by region, like lights going out in a building floor by floor. The cortex goes first, the layers responsible for consciousness, memory, language. Then the deeper structures, the thalamus, the cerebellum, the brainstem. The brainstem is the last to go. It controls your most primitive functions, breathing, heart rate, the things your body does without asking. It holds on longer than anything else, desperately sending signals to organs that can no longer respond. When the brainstem dies, that's it. That's biological death. There is no window anymore. No CPR, no defibrillator, no intervention of any kind can bring you back. The person you were, every memory, every preference, every fear, every inside joke, is now encoded in tissue that will never fire again. This is 15 minutes after your heart stopped, and your body is about to begin the longest journey it will ever take. Within the first hour, gravity starts to work on you. Without a heartbeat to push it through your veins, your blood begins to settle. It pools in whatever part of your body is closest to the ground. If you're lying on your back, the blood sinks to your back, your shoulders, the backs of your legs. This is called livor mortis. It starts as a faint reddish-purple discoloration, barely visible. But over the next several hours, it deepens. The patches spread. They become fixed, permanent stains in the tissue. Forensic investigators use livor mortis to determine how long someone has been dead and whether the body has been moved. At the same time, your temperature is dropping. A living human body maintains 37 degrees Celsius, 98.6 Fahrenheit, through a complex system of metabolic reactions. Without metabolism, you cool slowly, about 1.5 degrees per hour, depending on the environment. This is called rigor mortis, the death chill. Your skin turns cold first, then the deeper tissues. Over the next 12 to 24 hours, your body will reach the temperature of the room you're in. If it's a morgue, you'll settle at around 4 degrees Celsius. If you're outside in summer, it takes longer. By now, the living things inside you are starting to realize their host is gone. Your body has always been home to trillions of bacteria. In your gut alone, there are more bacterial cells than human cells in your entire body. While you were alive, your immune system kept them in check, a careful, constant negotiation between you and the organisms living inside you. That negotiation is over now. The bacteria begin to spread. They break through the walls of your intestines and start consuming you from the inside. The gut bacteria that once helped you digest food are now digesting you. Between 2 and 6 hours after death, they arrive at your muscles. Your body begins to stiffen. This is rigor mortis, the most well-known sign of death. It happens because your muscle cells, depleted of ATP, can no longer release the proteins that keep them flexible. Calcium floods in uncontrolled. Your muscles lock, your jaw clenches, your fingers curl. Rigor mortis starts in the small muscles of your face, your eyelids, your jaw, and works its way down. Within 12 hours, your entire body is rigid. It will stay that way for roughly 1 to 2 days before the muscles begin to break down and soften again. Here's something most people don't expect. Your body speaks after you die. As gases build up inside you from bacterial digestion, they press against your vocal cords. Air escapes your lungs through your throat. Nurses and morgue workers report hearing moans, sighs, even sounds that resemble words coming from dead bodies. It's just physics, but in a quiet room at 3 a.m, it's terrifying. By day 2, the bacteria are everywhere. They've spread from your gut to your liver, your kidneys, your lungs. They produce gases, hydrogen sulfide, methane, ammonia, that begin to bloat your abdomen. Your skin starts to change color. Green patches appear first on your lower right abdomen where the cecum sits. This is where the largest concentration of gut bacteria lives. So this is where decomposition shows first. The green spreads. It turns purple, then black. By day 4, the bloating is significant. Your body is producing enormous volumes of gas. Your abdomen swells. Your face puffs up. Your tongue protrudes. The pressure builds until it has to go somewhere. And it does, through every opening available. One forensic researcher described the smell at this stage as something that permanently changes your relationship with the concept of odor. Hydrogen sulfide smells like rotten eggs. Putrescine and cadaverine, chemicals produced by bacterial breakdown of amino acids, smell like nothing else on Earth. Once you've smelled decomposition, you never forget it. By the end of the first week, your skin begins to slip. The connections between the outer layer of skin and the tissue beneath it break down. Blisters filled with fluid appear on the surface. The skin loosens and can slide off at the slightest touch, like a glove being removed from a hand. Insects arrive. They've known about you for days. Some species of blowfly can detect death from over a mile away. They lay eggs in your eyes, your nose, your mouth, any wound or opening. The eggs hatch into larvae within hours, and these larvae, maggots, are extraordinarily efficient. A body left exposed in warm conditions can lose 60% of its mass to insect activity within a month. Forensic entomologists, scientists who study insects on dead bodies, can determine the time of death based on which species of insect are present and what stage of their life cycle they've reached. Your body becomes an ecosystem, a habitat, a world. By the end of the first month, if you haven't been embalmed and buried, most of your soft tissue is gone. Your organs have liquefied. Your muscles have dissolved. What remains is connective tissue, cartilage, bone, and hair. The bacteria that consumed you are now themselves dying off, their food source exhausted. The insect population cycles through generations on what's left. Plants in the soil beneath you begin to grow faster, fed by the nutrients your body released. There's a term for this in forensic science: a cadaver decomposition island. The patch of earth where a body lay will show elevated nitrogen levels and accelerated plant growth for years. If you were buried in a coffin, the timeline stretches dramatically. Embalming fluid slows bacterial growth. A sealed casket limits insect access. But even in the best preserved conditions, decomposition continues. Slowly, quietly. The bacteria that survive the embalming fluid work in the dark, in the cold, over years. In 8 to 12 years, a buried body is typically reduced to a skeleton. The soft tissue is gone. The tendons that held your bones together have dissolved. You are now an arrangement of calcium and phosphorus in the rough shape of a person. Your bones are the last to go. They're remarkably durable. Dense, mineralized, resistant to most forms of biological breakdown, but they're not permanent. Over decades, the minerals in your bones slowly leach into the surrounding soil. The calcium that once formed your femur becomes part of the earth. The phosphorus that structured your skull enters the groundwater. In 50 years, depending on soil conditions, even your bones are absorbed. There is no more skeleton, no more teeth, no more physical evidence that a human body was ever here. The atoms that made you, the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen that assembled themselves into a person who had a name, a face, a favorite song, are now distributed across the soil, the water, the roots of nearby trees. Some of them will be taken up by plants. Some will enter the bodies of animals that eat those plants. Some will evaporate and join the atmosphere. You are everywhere, and you are nowhere. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a dying star billions of years before you were born, and every atom will outlast you by billions more. You borrowed them for a while, 60, 70, 80 years if you were lucky. And now you're giving them back. The universe doesn't lose anything when you die. It just rearranges. The question, the one every culture, every civilization, every human being lying awake at 3 in the morning has asked, isn't really about what happens to your body. We know that now. The science is clear. Minute by minute, hour by hour, year by year, your body returns to where it came from. The question is about the other thing, the thing that was looking out through your eyes, the thing that heard music and felt something, the thing that loved people and feared the dark and wondered, in quiet moments, what any of this was for. Where does that go? Science doesn't have an answer. Not yet, maybe not ever. But the fact that you're asking, the fact that a collection of atoms arranged in the shape of a person can look up at the stars and wonder, might be the most extraordinary thing that has ever happened in this universe. And it happened to you. For a little while, at least.